I've gotten to run 5 or 6 Spotify Marquee campaigns. So I'm going to show you what the data looks like on the back end. And I'm also going to show you how you actually create the campaign and how it all works and stuff. So if you're not familiar with Spotify Marquee, I'll see if I can get a screenshot on screen for what it's like. Because if you have Spotify, you've probably seen it. Basically, you open up the app to listen to music, even if you're a premium user, and you're going to see a recommendation. It's going to say something like, hey, this artist that you follow or that you've listened to came out with this new thing. Would you like to check it out? And then you click go to listen to it or no thanks. That's Spotify Marquee. Anyone that clicks on that button costs the artist who ran the ad 50 cents. So you basically pay 50 cents per user that clicks the link. Whether they stream it or not, that's up to them. If they click that button, 50 cents. So the minimum amount you can spend on these campaigns is $250. I'm going to show you one right now that we spent $750 on. The artist, this wasn't for my music. I ran this for a bunch of these for another artist. He told me I could show you the data and stuff just to keep his band name and stuff private. So there's going to be a bunch blurred out. I apologize. But here's the data. So this campaign we spent $750 on. Since it was 50 cents per click, we got 1,549 clicks. So we got some extra clicks for free, essentially. It was shown to 8,375 people. And you'll see this when we set up a new one. But basically the way it works is you can choose like your followers, people that have listened to you recently, people that have listened to you less recently. You can kind of, there's different ways to target it, which you'll see in a sec. But pretty much it's people that already know you exist. So theoretically, they're quality leads. They're good people you'd want to show your new music to, especially since even if they follow you, they might not get notified that you came out with a new release. It's kind of the whole point of Spotify Marquee. And, it's another way for Spotify to make money, basically. So out of those 1,549 clicks, we had 1,136 converted listeners. Basically, not everyone that clicked listened. So some drop off to be expected. Some people might have clicked by accident. Some people might have clicked and then realized that maybe they saved it or something and then they forgot to listen. Who knows? But the average conversion rate, people that streamed who saw the ad, so out of these 8,375 people, basically the division of this and this is 13.57, which is pretty good. If you were to show your ad on Facebook to a stranger, the conversion rate is going to be way worse than this. So it makes sense. These people already know you exist. Now, another cool data point here. In fact, the rest of this is really cool. On average, this got 5.3 streams per listener, which is very high, like better than Facebook ads high. So you're paying 50 cents, but you are getting a very likely person to listen to your song multiple times. So you're getting a much more like qualified lead, so to speak, to come back to your music again, which is very good. Now, the intent rate is the percentage of people who took an action that shows they're going to listen again. So basically it's saying who saved or playlisted is how they're defining this. So we get 250 playlist editions, so 14% of converted listeners playlisted the track, which is very, very high. 23% of the people who converted and listened to the track saved the track, which is also very good. Not quite as good as what I've seen in a lot of Facebook ads when promoting my music, but also way better than any type of playlist. Algorithmic, user, editorial, whatever. This is way better than any of those. So the quality of people is very good, obviously, because they already know you exist. And they seem to take very high action after getting this ad. So in general, you pay 50 cents per lead, which is higher than a lot of people will get on Facebook ads. But you got to remember, as far as I know, it's US only. Well, you know what? We'll just dive in and make a campaign. So I'm going to have to cut the screen here. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to create a campaign. I'm not actually going to create it because I don't want to run a campaign against this artist. Well, and I'm going to have to blur a bunch of this stuff out, which is going to be a big pain, but let me show you this. So I'm creating a new marquee campaign here. And so basically here we have the release URI blurred out. We have the campaign start date, so you can pick a certain date that you want the campaign to go live. It has to be within, looks like 2 weeks of release day. So release day would be, I believe it's the 29th. So yeah, 2 weeks after release. And it runs for 7 days total, or when all your budget's exhausted. So if we scroll down, we can see how we actually do the targeting. So the default is your reachable audience. So this is 50 cents per click. So a group of listeners who have followed or shown interest in your music, or and are likely to find your campaign relevant. It includes people from the segments below. So all of these things here: recently interested listeners, actively streamed in the past 28 days, casual listeners, actively streamed in the last 6 months, but streamed less than your other listeners, and lapsed, have not listened in the past 6 months. So when you choose the segmented, and I'll do one of these, it's 55 cents per click. Even if you choose all of them, which is kind of stupid. But basically you pay a little bit more to get an extra amount of granularity. So like this will include all of these people, but if you want to specifically hit people who streamed you in the past month, which would be like your most engaged audience, you can do that. Now, if you also want to, you can choose people who have not in the past 6 months. And for this artist, it looks like there's actually more in the past 28 days than there is that are lapsed, which is really good. And this is also only United States. So when I was talking before about price, 50 cents per lead to listen to your song is high when you think of what I'll see a lot of times in like a Facebook ad campaign. But when you consider it's US only, and they're kind of pre-qualified, and it's almost guaranteed, and it's 100% traceable, Marquee is a pretty good service. Like, I don't have access to it on my own music. Even though I hit all the qualifications for it, even if you have 10,000 United States listeners in the past 28 days, which I do, you don't just automatically get it. They kind of roll it out. So the second I get it, I'll probably be using this extensively because it's pretty guaranteed. The data is great. And the cost is, when you think of the fact that it's US only and the data is so good, I think it's very, very good. Like, this is a very, very good. Especially compared to Ad Studio. So it definitely kind of gives Facebook ads a run for their money. Yeah. So now essentially from there, you just choose a budget. So if I do like $100, it's going to say it has to be above $250. So you can do $250. And there's a point, like if we did $1,500, no, it still thinks we're spending. If we did $5,000, yeah, it says we're unlikely to spend it. Your recommended maximum is $2,800. So basically they know based on the number of people in your audience and the percentage of people that are likely to convert if they're going to be able to spend your budget or not. So they just kind of tell you off the bat. So that's basically the gist with Spotify Marquee. Super cool. I wish everyone had it, but then again, if everyone had it, then I guess it probably wouldn't be quite as good because users would get annoyed with it if they were constantly getting barraged with these marquees. But yeah, I hope you found this interesting. I haven't seen too much content about this. If you want to learn more about how to promote my music outside of this marquee stuff, because I don't use it, I use Facebook ads mostly, which is this top playlist here. And if you want to see whatever YouTube thinks you should watch, you can check out this bottom video right here. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.